You've heard about endangered species, but did you know farm animals can be endangered too? Across North America, historic goat and sheep breeds are quietly disappearing from our pastures and our heritage. These aren't just charming old-world animals. They're hardy, disease-resistant, and built for tough conditions. Today we're diving into the rarest of the rare, critically endangered and threatened breeds of sheep and goats that deserve a second chance on farms. Let's meet the breeds worth saving. Goats on the edge. Let's start with goats because these hardy browsers often get overlooked when it comes to heritage livestock, but a few breeds are hanging on by a thread, some with fewer than 500 animals left in existence. San Clemente Island Goat, critical. This goat has one of the strangest comeback stories in American livestock. For centuries they lived wild on San Clemente Island off the coast of California, likely descended from Spanish or colonial-era goats left behind by early settlers. They adapted to rugged cliffs, dry scrubland, and total independence. But in the 1980s, the U.S. Navy, which owns the island, decided the goats were damaging native plants. They began exterminating the herd. Fortunately, a few dedicated breeders stepped in and rescued some goats just in time. Today they survive in rare breed conservation herds across the U.S. What makes them special? San Clemente goats are extremely hardy, small-bodied, and efficient browsers. Their horns curve outward like scimitars, and their coloring is usually reddish with dark markings. They thrive in rocky, brushy areas where other goats struggle. For farmers working with tough land, these goats are made for survival. But here's the kicker. There may be fewer than 1,000 San Clementes left in the world. Owning them means you're part of a rescue mission. Arapawa Goat, critical. Another feral goat with a dramatic story, the Arapawa comes from New Zealand, but a handful have made their way to North America. The breed likely descends from Old English or possibly Spanish goats brought by European whalers and settlers in the 1800s. Over generations, they adapted to life on their own on Arapawa Island, developing lean frames, independent personalities, and strong survival instincts. What's remarkable about Arapawas is their foraging ability. These goats will eat what other goats leave behind, ideal for brush control and unmanaged pastures. They're smaller than most dairy or meat breeds with long, flowing hair that gives them a wild, almost prehistoric look. They're also great mothers, often birthing and raising kids unassisted even in rough conditions. That kind of low-intervention, high-resilience trait is gold for low-input farming, but they're also rare. Less than 400 breeding animals exist globally. They're kept mainly by breed preservationists, but there's strong potential for them to support brush management in rugged areas. Critical sheep of the southeast, let's move to sheep, starting with two breeds that tell the story of survival in the American South. Florida Cracker sheep, critical. Descended from the Spanish sheep brought over in the 1500s, Florida Cracker sheep are one of the oldest breeds in the U.S. These sheep weren't pampered, they were turned loose to forage and had to survive heat, parasites, predators, and poor forage. What survived became tough, smart, and efficient. Today they're perfect for hot, humid environments. They require little intervention, lamb easily, and resist parasites better than most modern breeds. They're small and thrifty. Not the biggest meat producers, but ideal for homesteads and land restoration. Their wool is lightweight, often used more for crafts than commercial spinning. But the focus here is resilience. There are only a few hundred breeding ewes left. Without small farmers supporting them, they could vanish for good. Gulf Coast native sheep, critical. Closely related to the Florida Cracker, the Gulf Coast native developed along the Gulf states, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. These sheep were once the backbone of southern subsistence farming. Like the Florida Cracker, they're parasite-resistant, heat-tolerant, and excellent foragers. They're also scientifically proven to be one of the most parasite-resistant sheep breeds in the U.S. In multiple studies, they outperformed commercial breeds like Catadines in pasture-based systems. Their wool is a bit coarse but usable, and their meat is lean and flavorful. Though they look unassuming, usually white and medium-sized, they carry some of the strongest survival genetics in the sheep world, a perfect fit for small farms that don't want to rely on constant worming, grain, or fencing, island survivors. Some of the most endangered sheep in America come from islands. Isolated, untouched by modern breeding, and shaped entirely by their environments, these sheep are living time capsules of colonial and indigenous livestock history. Hog Island sheep, critical. Once found on Hog Island off the coast of Virginia, these sheep were left to roam free by settlers in the 1700s. Over generations they adapted to the salt spray, storms, and sparse forage of island life. By the 20th century, they were completely feral, until the island was turned into a wildlife refuge, and the sheep had to be removed. Thanks to dedicated breeders, some flocks were relocated to the mainland. Hog Island sheep are hardy, small-framed, and self-sufficient. They're not production powerhouses, but they're perfect for extensive grazing systems or rewilding pastures. Their wool is medium-grade and often used by hand spinners, and they're known for lambing ease and strong maternal instincts. Fun fact, Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's estate, keeps a flock of Hog Island sheep to preserve early American agricultural history. Santa Cruz sheep, critical. Another island breed with a dramatic backstory. These sheep are native to California's Santa Cruz Island, where they ran wild for over a century. Like the Hog Island sheep, they were originally brought by settlers and left to fend for themselves. When conservation groups moved to protect the island's native ecosystem, the sheep were nearly wiped out, but a few were saved, and now live in small mainland conservation herds. Santa Cruz sheep are incredibly thrifty. Small, tough, and parasite-resistant, they're great for dry climates and low-input systems. Their wool is light and springy, and they're sometimes used for primitive craft spinning. This breed is particularly rare, fewer than 200 animals may remain. If you're a farmer looking for ultra-resilient genetics that don't demand intensive inputs, this breed deserves a look. Heritage with deep cultural roots, Navajo Churro, critical. The Navajo Churro is one of the oldest breeds of sheep in North America and has a direct lineage to the Churra sheep, brought by Spanish settlers in the 1500s. Over centuries, the Navajo people selectively bred these sheep for their resilience, unique wool, and adaptability to the arid Southwest. Their wool isn't what you'd find in commercial markets. It's coarse, double-coated, and absolutely perfect for traditional Navajo weaving. In fact, this breed played a huge role in the cultural survival of Navajo art and identity. In the 1860s, during U.S. military campaigns against the Navajo, the government ordered mass slaughters of Navajo sheep. Later in the 1930s, a second wave of destruction came under the Bureau of Indian Affairs' stock reduction program, again decimating the breed. But Navajo families, determined to protect their sacred flocks, hid them and slowly rebuilt herds. Today, thanks to tribal programs and conservation efforts, these sheep are making a comeback, but they're still on the critical list. These sheep are highly parasite-resistant, handle poor forage, and have strong mothering instincts. If you're building a resilient, culturally respectful flock, they belong on your radar. Teeswater, critical. Across the ocean in northern England, the Teeswater sheep has long been prized for its stunning silky wool. These sheep produce some of the longest, shiniest locks in the sheep world, often used in hand spinning, costume design, and even doll making. Though not native to the US, small flocks were imported for fiber enthusiasts and smallholder farms. They're large, friendly sheep with excellent carcass qualities and jaw-dropping fleece. Unfortunately, commercial breeding shifted toward faster-growing meat breeds, and the Teeswater fell out of favor. Their wool is a specialty product, luxurious, high-value, and in demand among artisans. If you're a fiber farmer looking for something special, these sheep are both beautiful and historically significant. Threatened, but worth watching. Now let's quickly shine a light on the threatened heritage breeds. These animals aren't quite as rare as the critical ones we just covered, but they're still in need of more farms, more land, and more love. If you're looking for a rare breed that's a little more accessible, these might be a great place to start. Barbados Black Belly. This heat-hardy, parasite-resistant hair sheep hails from the Caribbean and has found a loyal following in southern U.S. climates. They don't require shearing, thrive on browse, and are known for strong mothering and lean meat. Great for grazing systems, especially in hot or humid zones. Jacob Sheep American. The American Jacob is a spotted, multi-horned sheep that looks like something out of a fantasy novel. They're hardy, light-framed, and adaptable to various climates. While they don't produce huge amounts of meat or wool, they're ideal for small homesteads and fiber farms. Their unique appearance also makes them a great ambassador breed for public outreach. One of the oldest sheep breeds in the world, Caracool are desert tough and have fat tails, a rare trait. Their coarse wool is prized in traditional textiles like rugs and felting. In the US, small flocks still exist, and they do best in dry regions with low parasite loads. Rommeldale, this California-born wool breed has some of the softest, naturally colored wool of any sheep in America. The CVM stands for California Variegated Mutant, a flashy, beautifully patterned variation. These sheep are great for sustainable wool operations and are beloved by hand spinners. Dorset Horn, Cotswold, Lincoln, Leicester Longwool. These classic British origin breeds once powered the global wool industry. While still around in pockets, they're no longer common on commercial farms. All four have beautiful long wool and docile personalities but need committed stewards to keep them going. Clun Forest, Black Welsh Mountain, Soay, British. These compact rugged sheep are ideal for rotational grazing and rough pastures. Soays are among the most ancient sheep breeds, with almost feral tendencies and stunning primitive looks. Black Welsh Mountains with their dark fleece and striking eyes are excellent low-maintenance meat sheep. And Clun Forest sheep offer a nice balance of meat and wool with good mothering. When we talk about endangered animals, most people think of wild species. But our agricultural heritage is also vanishing, one breed at a time. These goats and sheep aren't just relics of the past, they're resilient, resourceful animals with traits that are perfectly suited for small-scale and diversified farms. Whether it's the parasite resistance of the Gulf Coast native, the sacred wool of the Navajo churro, or the heat tolerance of the Barbados blackbelly, these breeds offer more than just meat or fiber. They carry the wisdom of generations. If you've got land, even just a few acres, and you're looking to make a difference, consider adding a heritage breed to your flock. You won't just be raising livestock, you'll be helping save a piece of agricultural history. Let us know in the comments if you already raise one of these breeds, or which one caught your eye. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with fellow farmers or homesteaders who might be looking for their next flock addition. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.